of our Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin stream series here on the Overanalyst channel. Now, first things first, we've actually got a couple things to do. I want to see what's cooking in the Doors of Pharaoh, see if we can't get any PvP action out of the Rat King Covenant before we carry on to the proper DLC. We don't need the Disciples of the Dark right now, because if you recall, at the end of yesterday's stream, I, for the first time ever, made it to and attempted to fight the Dark Lurker, the special, like, super boss waiting at the bottom of the old chasms of the Abyss, those special dungeons we can only access through the Disciples of the Dark Covenant. And we couldn't quite beat the Dark Lurker inside of a couple tries, though we got really close on both occasions, I'll say, which is good news. But what I wanted to do, since it does cost human effigies, it does cost resources and things like that to attempt the Dark Lurker fight, is see if we can't make our character and their gear just a little bit stronger before we try again. And there's no better way to do that at this point in the game than, whoops, by accessing the, DLC, which, in addition to giving you ludicrous amounts of souls, also has a ton of really high-end weapons and armor that might be better than what we've got now. In fact, I know for certain there's one particular armor set we can get in the first DLC toward the end that is far and away better than anything we've got now in terms of, like, defense for weight and things like that. Guess there's no action in there right now. It's a shame. Let's try resting at a bonfire and seeing if we can't pull somebody. But if we can't, then real quick, just to make sure we're not going into the DLC totally without souls or things like that, and to do a little bit of farming, I might clear out the Doors of Pharaoh and all its Gurm Guardians, and then we'll head straight to the first DLC area. We do now, of course, have all the keys necessary to access the add-ons. We got the Dragon Fang from the sewer, I believe, like the giant hole in Majula. We got the old iron, or the big iron key from the Iron Keep. No, not the Iron Keep. The Salamander's Den in the Forest of the Giants. And then we got the frozen flower, or the sculpted flower from, geez, I want to say it was Castle Dranglake somewhere? That sounds right? Alright, we're not getting any takers here. Poo. We'll definitely want our serpent rings and our Jester's hat on for the DLC, because a lot of the enemies in there have solid armor sets and weapons and things like that, and we would really like them to drop them for us. The Gurm aren't quite as durable as you would imagine that armor would make them. I think their default armor, like the Gurm Warrior set, like not what these guys wear, but the big tanky guys with the beards, is among the best, like, physical defense armors in the entire game. The base game, anyway. Could be wrong about that, but I think it's up there with, like, the Ironclad and Smelter Demon stuff. Which reminds me, I really do have to buy those special boss armors to show off to you guys. And I think Mothlan sells most of them, and we already bought the two that, for whatever reason, Titchy Gren sells. And they're not dropping anything. Oh, he did. A Titanite, that's fine. I'd like some more of that Gurm armor, but we'll take what we can get. Another one of the shields. Man, if we were a strength build, the Germ stuff would be perfect for us, but unfortunately we are not, and it is not. Where's our bonfire? Here we go. Now, it's DLC time, properly. So, first thing we want to do is head to the Black Gulch. The first DLC is accessed by the special fountain past the Rotten's bonfire. The second is accessed past the Old Iron King's bonfire. And the third is accessed from the Shrine of Winter outside Castle Frank Lake, I think. And I'm ordering them, like, based upon the order in which they were released. Of course, it's not like I think there's a proper order for story purposes or anything like that. They're all just a series of, like, very plot-relevant, but kind of central narrative-adjacent, extra dungeons and the like. Yeah, and now that we have, the Dragon Tooth, we can interact with this fountain to travel to the entryway to the Sunken King DLC. City of the Sunken King sleeps, as does the dragon within. Now, normally you could use these fountains to access, like, the lobby of the DLC area, I think, regardless of whether or not you had the key. And you can, I think, put down your summon sign in certain areas and get someone to help with bosses, even if you can't access the main DLC area yet. But, now that we have the keys, we can progress past the little lobby into the DLC area itself. Now, fair warning, if I recall correctly, two things. One, these DLCs are, though incredibly well crafted, hard as hell compared to the main game content, and are going to be especially trying for us, in a really, really good way, of course. And two, I don't think they've been changed much, if at all, for Scholar of the First Sin. Their content is largely the same. This is the cool little lobby each of the DLC has. Different environment for each, of course. Like here, as we could tell, we're in a massive cavern system, actually deep beneath the Black Gulch. We're going to be exploring the ruins of a civilization that flourished here in the area long before Drang Lake did, and has been forgotten so long that, like, places like the Black Gulch and the Gutter, which appear to be, like, almost primordial, are relatively young in comparison. So let's open this very ornate door. And I really like the architecture of this area. It's something unlike what we see anywhere else in the series. The whole area has very vaguely Mesoamerican, like, sort of Aztec-looking architecture, Aztec-Mayan stuff. I've also seen online, I think some people say it takes some inspiration from Babylonian art motifs. Both styles I would love to see more often in games, but yeah, here is that Aztec style for you, or again, sorry, Mesoamerican would be more proper, because there's other civilizations like the Maya and the Olmec, of course, that had similar architecture. This is Sholva, the Sanctum city deep beneath the Earth's crust, or deep within the Earth's crust. Each of the DLC has, like, a gameplay gimmick or theme, and Sholva's, in addition to, like, weird little puzzle mechanics that are kind of cool, is poison. Everything here is poisonous. Not quite as much of a pain as you'd expect, and oh, look at that. Here's the slumbering dragon. This is Sin, the slumbering dragon. S-I-N-H. You'll notice that, like, its hide has been pierced with a giant spear, and it doesn't appear to be corrupted like Calamite was, the black dragon from the first game. It just runs off as soon as, we wake it. Sin was actually, I believe, like a friend to the people of this city, and was venerated by them as a type of god. And he's still here, even though, as we'll see, most of the people aren't. So this is the Sanctum Walk bonfire, and almost all of this particular DLC takes place in Shulva and one other area. This is the way it goes. Most of the DLCs have 2 proper areas, and each of them has a special, like, mini-dungeon that is intended exclusively for co-op play. Doesn't mean you can't handle it one-on-one, it'd just be very, very difficult to. So we've got 3 bonfires here. Do not take that as an indication that this, like, region is going to be a short little jaunt for us. Shulva is massive, and it's just filled to the brim with goodies. We got some old-growth balm, which I think is a special consumable item that you can't find anywhere else. Here we go. Temporarily increased strength. A balm extracted from a rare plant. The special fragrant oil affects the mind, granting a fleeting sense of empowerment. In other words, it's narcotics. Yay! This is an elevator lobby that will take us down to more or less the second half of the DLC, I think, once we unlock it. But our goal is that big ziggurat. Specifically, we want to get to the bottom of that ziggurat. Which, trust old Brady, that's easier said than done. Here are our main enemies for, like, at least the first half of the DLC. The Sanctum soldiers. They do deal poison damage. They are reasonably durable for enemies without shields, and they do have a unique series of weapons and armor that you can earn from them. They come in a variety of builds with different weapons, including poison bows, bringing those wonderful Blighttown memories fleeting back, or coursing back. You kind of want to, as you can, kite these guys, so you're only fighting 1 or 2 at a time. Otherwise, that's gonna happen. I believe, yeah, we can backstab them. They don't stagger all that easily, but... oh, geez. So, this is meant to introduce us to the big gimmick of this particular area. These little switches. If they're struck by much of anything linked to the player, they will raise or lower certain platforms, like so. Often making navigation, for instance, a bit easier. Oh, they can heal. That's right. Totally forgot about that. Come on. So we want to use these little, like, shrines almost, or these plazas almost as cover. And whoa, we just threw one of them straight off the platform and made it to where the other 2 will be forced to engage us in melee with their toxic swords. Poison moss, thank you, thank you. Huh, this one's, oh, I was about to say not doing a whole lot, but come on. You can do it. I think you can, anyway. The Sanctum mace, nice, we got one of their weapons. Heavy emphasis on poison, if you couldn't tell right off the bat. Now we can ride these, if we like, up or down, and there is a lot of treasure to be found just by messing around with that elevator mechanic throughout Shulva. Which means there's a ton of treasure here, some of which I may completely miss, unfortunately. See, we can get that, for instance, by riding this up. So if we, for instance, send it down again, like so. Oh, this is gonna be dangerous. Whew. Dark quartz ring +3. Excellent dark defense. That, tell you what, that might actually be extra handy for the dark lurker fight. Like a +3 ring, man, that's really, really good. Now let's write it down normally. Oh, did we miss? We missed an entire level. It looked like this is the Sanctum City experience, y'all. That must be where the other one lets out. Longbow +7. Nice. Doesn't really look like there's a lot we can do from here. Oh, jeez. Yeah, looks like we might have to, head on back. Right? Unless, is there some kind of switch we can hit from here? Give me a minute. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Looks like, unfortunately, we'll have to use our feather to go back, but we got some treasure out of it. I think we might be intended to just drop off the little pathway past the, second group of Sanctum soldiers, the ones with the bows. Now, does everything reset? Unfortunately, yes, it does. So we might as well rest up at the old bonfire. Well, no, hold on. We also auto-attune Dark Weapon. Because I don't think these guys are dark resistant. They shouldn't be. Yeah, once we've raised the altars to use as cover, this does get much easier. I'm not sure, I totally forget if we can acquire their Gs. Their swords or not. I know you can get the armor, and you might even be able to get, like, the special, like, Sanctum longbow from them, but I'm not sure about the sword. Let's send one of them for a little trip once again. Love that. Jeez, they do not kid around with the Sanctum soldiers. Fortunately, when they're one-on-one, they're not that hard to deal with. I also get the sense they wouldn't be too terribly tough to parry either, but... Oh, it's one of the lance variants. Totally forgot about them. I think we might have seen every variety of Sanctum soldier the game has to offer, though. They're not the only enemies here, nor are they the only really prominent humanoid enemies we're gonna run into. They're just the most common on the... in the outermost regions of Shulva. We've also got those acid ants from the gutter back for round 2. Oh. What on earth does that... Oh no, it does raise the longbow. There was a switch just out of my line of sight. Of course there was. That doesn't matter. Not gonna try to make that. We gotta be careful because everything in here is acid. Just about. Golden fruit balm, that might raise... Well, it does raise another of our attributes, I'm just not sure which. So, does it ever stop leaking acid, or is that just a whole thing now? Looks like it might just be a whole thing. All of those bugs are crammed into this multi-story structure. We want to leave them for now. What does this raise? Oh, good. Good, it's going to give us a way into that building, right? Yes. Good, good. Sanctum soldiers tend to drop their gear incredibly infrequently, I think. Even with all of our buffs, we've not seen too much from them. Poison Bite Ring +1, that'll come in especially handy a bit later on. Okay, let me think. We obviously want to head down to the bottom of the city, but I want to make sure I'm not missing just a ton of cool loot I could show off to you guys along the way. Nothing from him. It's a beautiful area, and I don't think there are any NPCs in... I should say non-hostile NPCs in any of the DLCs except the third one, so we don't get too much direct, exposition about this place, unfortunately. Oh, I see. We can use these and that other switch to create a bridge over to the archer. Nice. I'm punching these switches so we don't wear out our sword's durability on the stone, as these guys seem to wear down our durability well enough as it is. Is this going to open up a bridge? Yeah, right over there. It's going to extend that relief. Good. Very good. And it gives us a safe landing zone from the second story. Been in there, been in there. I think we might have everything over here. Or all of the big stuff. Now here you'll see a great big old wad of those statues from the Gutter and the Black Gulch, and they're still doing their thing. These are attached to the back of some lizard-like creature that I don't know if we can kill it or not, honestly. I don't know that we can. Well, I'm sure you can. I just don't know that our character is capable of it. You might need something that has a very low ground sweeping attack that can hit just the lizard without rebounding off of the statues. Not sure. Bunch of throwing knives, useful for reaching those hard to get to switches. Now before we carry on, I want to go check out this building over here. Which is probably loaded with the little fly monsters. Yep. Fortunately, aside from the acid effect, they are not that durable at all. Or dangerous, I should say. Now, there is loot out here. An Elizabeth's mushroom, which is something, I guess, but not exactly what I'd expect from a secondary pathway. Oh, sniper spot up ahead, I see. Gives you a great view of the next section of the Sanctum city. But unfortunately, they have bows and arrows too, and theirs are probably just a bit better than mine. And absolutely nothing down there. Alright, we're going to have to jump for it, up here, and then work our way down and around. Just barely, but we got it. Okay. What is down here? Couple Sanctum soldiers, right? Both with maces. So we want to get rid of one before we do anything else. Fortunately, they're a little on the slow side. That's the way forward, I believe, to like the next section of the level. But first, we want to get all the loot we can over here. Yeah, see, because that leads into the main ziggurat. So we don't want to head over there just yet. Want to see what all these archers are guarding. Magic crossbow bolts, okay. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Gonna have to raise all of them, probably, to create a bridge up there, right? Up there to the balcony. Oh, God. Their bows are easily their most powerful weapons. We're gonna need repair powder or a new weapon pretty soon. We're not far from a bonfire, I don't think, so as long as we keep our mind right, we should be able to get through this first section with minimal difficulty. keep forgetting that they heal themselves. Right, of course they do. Do like all the little natural cover scattered around the city. All the ruins. That makes this way less painful than it could be. Oof. Now notice these statues. Red-eyed statues. They spit out, like a liquid that causes a different status effect. It might be straight acid, or it might be, some kind of, like, petrification, toxin. I don't recall. Well, since we can't properly use the black steel katana, it's been weathered down too much. Well, how much repair powder do we have? Just 1 pinch. We'll go ahead and use it now and hop out to Majula to get more later on. Let's see what this toxic turtle is guarding. Anything? Oh, yes. Yes, probably the entryway, or the starting point of that bridge we're gonna need to create. Yep. Any treasure up here? No. Treasure will be in the building then, that'll be our payoff. This should raise one of the platforms, right? Yep. Number 2. And now we'll need to use a ranged weapon, i.e. sorceries, or hexes, or both, to nail all of these scattered around. So, let me see if I can't do this. Slightly off-center. Oh no, it just went right through. Oh hell. Would a soul arrow do, or does it have to be a physical weapon? Yeah, soul arrow does the job. Hexes don't, for whatever reason. That's weird. Remember in the first game they said that hexes were like a product of like pure unfiltered humanity, so they were actually purely physical damage for that reason. Weird. Let's see what's up here. Or down here, I guess I should say. What's the point of this one? I guess just to help you get back up if you fall down? It's gotta be more than that. I'd have to have missed something, but... Well, we raised it at any rate, and created our little natural bridge. Let's check that out. By the way, what does that other balm we picked up do? Is that raise faith or something? Yeah, golden fruit balm. Granting a fleeting sense of empowerment. Yeah, they all say more or less the same thing. I think there's also balms for dexterity and intelligence. We'll have to come back later for those treasures like wedged down at the bottom of the pillars. Okay, let's do this. Well, no, we can get that one pretty easily, it looks like, if we come back through. Which we'll do. Ah, there we go. That's the good stuff. New bonfire, the best reward of all. And some loot. A dried root. What does that do? Is it down here, or...? Here we are. Restores HP for a long period. Root of a perennial herb native to the south. Wild animals abhor the pungent odor of this root, but clerics on pilgrimage are keenly aware of the value of its medicinal effects. I see. Another Sanctum soldier. Just the one in here? Yeah, looks like it. Maybe some loot over there, though? Hoping and praying? Just an elevator. Elevator to this bonfire, I see. What an imposing profile that Ziggurat casts, huh? Oh, another Sanctum mace, if we didn't get one from one of the soldiers. That's nice, but I'd really like the Sanctum armor set, thanks. We're going for those treasures next. I think that is the exit to the, Oh. Oh, is there a switch we can activate from down here? I mean, it won't really matter one way or another because we do have a bonfire, but first let me get the treasure over there, then I'll try to access that cave with the help of that message that may or may not be lying to us. I think that might be the way into the, or one of the, like, little bonus dungeons. Oh no, we can't access that all that easily from up here. Yikes. Not worth it, not worth it, not worth it. Guess we'll try for the cave then. Seems like the enemies here give a decent, but not, like, extraordinary amount of souls, which is fine, but you'd expect, like, late-game-ish DLC to give a little bit more, you know? Alright, vision's a switch. No switch over here. And they screwed us. Of course they did. Or maybe they meant you need a switch. No. No, it's behind the red-eyed statues. Very good. Okay, so we actually can hit this. What we're gonna need is a bow. I'll use the hunter's black bow. And what do we have just an abundance of? Good old iron arrows. They'll do. There we go. Ah, now we're a bit too high up. Well, maybe. Maybe not. Hey! Yeah, this might be the entrance to the, bonus PvP dungeon. Oh, what are you? Oh my god, what are you? I do not remember this at all. Well, we got a special notched whip. And the promised walk of peace miracle? Oh, seriously, what the hell? Try attacking? Just, what is this? Looks like it could have been human once. Do we need fire or fucking priest or? Oh, hold on. I'm definitely looking this up. I've never seen this before. I've not been here before. One moment. Okay. There we go. If you look for it, Dark Souls 2, Shoal of a Strange Tree. Oh. Oh, this is fascinating. So, this thing is apparently called the Pagan Tree. And the whip is apparently a clue here. We can strike this thing with a whip, and it will emit an aura that will repair all of our items for us. That's, honestly not too bad. Thank you, horrible tree monster. Oh, dear. Oh, and we get a little gift, a bunch of torches. Nice. Well, now we can access our bonfire, so we don't really need to worry about the poison too much. Damn, but it works fast in Dark Souls 2 without that weird adaptability stat jacked through the roof. Now we can carry on to the next section of the Sanctum City, but first, I do want to go back to Majula. I do want to get some more repair powder. We can't exactly go back to the pagan tree between, or every time our weapon durability drops down, especially seeing as all that stuff would probably respawn if we did. Oh, yeah, he does have a special gift for us. A blacksmith's hammer. Not quite as strong as the craftsman's hammer that Macduff gives us, but it'll do the job. Oh, he just has one pinch of repair powder? Yikes. Maybe Mothlan has some more? Or Melentia? Should we see what she's got in stock? No. But she does offer Lycia's set, as well as Creighton's. Yeah, she'll sell you the armor of any friendly NPCs you kill, even though, again, Creighton was kind of hostile.
You need
No repair powder, unfortunately. But he does sell some really cool stuff, like the Looking Glass armor. Oh god, it's so cool. I'm tempted to go for the Alva armor right now. But no, we need to save our souls. We really, really do. If we don't have more repair powder anywhere around here, you wouldn't happen to sell any, would you? Nah. Then it ain't really worth it, to be honest. Does she?
Oh, speak up if you...
No bonfire ascetics and just about every kind of weapon upgrade material you could think of. As well as a miracle and a hex, Dead Again. We'll go ahead and pick up Dead Again because it might be a useful addition to our hex catalog, but nothing else. Alright. With that done, I guess we've no recourse but to head back to the Tower of Prayer and dig a little bit deeper into Shulva. Now, interesting thing about the DLCs. They, at least when they were first released, a couple of them have been added to the main game. Like a bunch of the Dark Spirits that invade us were added specifically for Scholar of the First Sin. But the DLCs introduced a number of NPC invaders with really ingenious, like, coding or, like, behavior that would replicate a lot of the tactics used by actual really talented multiplayer invaders. So they'd do things like kiting you towards enemy ambushes, using arms and armor meant, or arms and equipment meant to wear down your weapon durability and things like that. They just generally play a bit smarter. And we're going to be seeing some of that starting in this DLC with its invaders. The first of whom, I think, should meet us on one of the bridges between this part of the world and the large ziggurat. Poison moss, okay. Notice the spearman guarding the ziggurat. Oh no, it's not who I thought it was gonna be, but it is one of the Forlorn. Oh, and it's the bad one. Oh no. Oh no. It's the bad one with an ass load of HP. Good maneuvering on his part. Oh wait, no, that's right. Enemies get all freaked out with their like pathfinding near the elevators in Shulva for some reason. So the reason he wasn't just like tearing me apart was because he couldn't figure out how to get over here. Oh, that's brilliant. You get a bunch of rusted coins that increase, I think, our likelihood of item drops and things like that temporarily, so, you know, that's cool. Oh, and there's Sin, doing what he does best, breathing toxic fire. You know, the best kind of fire. We got the Focus Souls, think that might be a hex? That sounds like a hex. No, Promised Walk of Peace is, though. A hex created from an ancient miracle of unknown origin slows the walking pace of its caster and those in the vicinity. Bit like the, Old Stone Knights miracle from Dark Souls 1. To stand and glare at one another, steaming with ire and wrath, but without making a move. Such is the nature of peace. Oh, that's cynical. Focus Souls, an ancient sorcery of Shulva, the Sanctum city, fires a focused beam of souls. Oh, nice. The development of sorceries was stunted in Shulva as they were considered taboo. Even so, there were some occasional gems created by a group of nameless enthusiasts. It sounds like a really cool technique, but it has like a 60 intelligence requirement, something there's no way we can meet right now. Looks like we're gonna have to use an elevator to get to the upper level of that area. Oh, there goes the old ragdoll problem again. Notice that the way opens for us. Almost like we're being expected. I don't know if there's any like plot relevance there, I honestly forget. Welcome to the Dragon Sanctum, the second major area of this DLC. And we're going to be hearing that singing throughout this entire area, which is quite alright with me, as it sounds rather nice. Now, the Sanctum soldiers are here, sure, but so are a new type of enemy, those guys. They're ghosts, effectively wraiths, each wielding two massive curved swords and virtually, totally impervious to physical damage. Magic, darkness, things like that will deal a little bit of damage, but we honestly can't do much to harm them without just pulling our hair out or nearly getting killed ourselves, as they are. No, see, they have a gimmick linked to that giant suit of armor you see laying on top of the altar right in front of the Spectre, the one that's radiating some kind of red mist. That is their, apparently, like, corporeal remains, or the body, the armor they gave up in order to attain this form. And if we find and smash their suits of armor, they are indefinitely, like, even if they respawn later, converted back into a very easily dispatchable corporeal form. So, they're gonna be something of a pain, but we can take them. We just want to smash these first. See, there you go. These are Sanctum Knights, I think. They are very powerful, but actually, without their incorporeal state, they're not that durable. And there also aren't just like a ton of them in here. Now, they won't always be found right in front of their suits of armor, of course. No, the real challenge comes from the fact that oftentimes they're quite far away from them, and will be chasing you down until you can find their armor. 50 destructive great arrows, that's pretty good. The Katarina helm, as in the Onion Knights helmet from the first game. Soul Vessel, alright. Never can have too many. Old Growth Bomb. Which is very situationally useful, like for boss fights and the like. And a Titanite slab. A pretty good haul for a fairly straightforward fight. Here we'll see a bunch of Sanctum soldiers with a poisonous aura. These are somehow even stankier, apparently. So we do want to keep our distance when we can. Ow! Damn. I actually think it might be better not to try to backstab these guys because the animation keeps us in their poison aura for longer. And it looks like the aura immediately dissipates when they die, so... I forgot about them. Now obviously that aura doesn't apply to all of the Sanctum soldiers, just some of them. Just enough to make it a pain. Pretty sure that's a mimic. Or otherwise trapped. Oh no. They also have hexers, that's right. We're gonna need to use our repair powder again. I really need that repair sorcery. Because the enemies in Shulva do wear you down pretty quickly, it looks like. So the hexers, I think we can take... No, we cannot. I assume she's very dark resistant, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that ain't great. Oh, no mimic. Some other kind of trap? Yep. 3 dried roots, though. That could come in extra handy. They're actually really good restorative items, a la Elizabeth Mushroom. Is that an arrow trap? Yes, it is. It fires 1,000,000 friggin' arrows, or darts. Sanctum Soldier Gauntlet, that's one part of the armor set. I'll take it. Oh, what's in here? Just a treasure? Soul of a great hero and some dragon charms. Nice. See the archer back behind the, like, decorative moon carving back there? In all honesty, we probably want to just rush her first, but can't with one of these guys in the way. That got him. Okay. Real quick, while we're back here, let's use one of these instead of our Estus, real quick. Now in melee, these hexers don't hold up at all. Dragon Charm, hey. So to get rid of that guy, we're gonna have to get kind of creative. This pressure plate slowly rotates this carving around clockwise 90 degrees, I believe, every time. What we're gonna need to do is put ourselves in, like, the lowermost compartment, and then use a ranged weapon, like our bow, for instance, to hit it twice while we stay in, like, the little groove here, so we can be raised to the archer's level. Party time, man. Come on. No, 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 no. Oh, come on down, then. I must have had the wrong one, because I could have sworn... In another area, we can do something similar with a rotating door just like that to access a special treasure. Wait, no, looks like we still might be able to. Let me try again. We'll use Soul Arrow this time if we can. Oh, come on. Yeah, there is like a little compartment over there. Come on. Just let me... We can get up there. I know we can. Oh, but here it doesn't matter. Right, it is a different place I was thinking of. My bad. Try attacking. Nothing here, right? Yeah. What's in here? Oh, repair powder. Very nice. Some kind of sealed door. We'll need to look for a switch to that. Right. Oh. Sounds like more of the answer down there. Yeah, we'll need a ranged weapon to open that. Oh, close, close, close. That got it. Almost got him. And did get him. Now that is a whole bunch of, like, arrow holes, isn't it? Or spike traps, jeez. We're gonna have to be careful going through there when we do decide to go through there. I ain't sold yet. Oh, another switch. Probably best to use the bow for this one because of the poor visibility. Did that open the little door earlier on in the corridor? Like up there? Maybe so, and we can go back for it. I say we prioritize exploring this place, though. Made it. Vine Palm, is that the dexterity one? Sounds like it would be dex. Yep. So we got a nice little treasure coffer here. This was the right way to go. Let's open it all up and see what we've won. Dragon Sanctum is a pretty loot-dense area, and it's also where most of the DLC's, like, special goodies are. Dragonbone and Titanite, good. Boltstone and Bleedstone, and... the Puzzling Stone Sword. I love this weapon. We've actually been invaded by that Fencer NPC who uses it multiple times. Let me see if I can't find it here. It is... this one. A sword with a segmented blade. When swung, its segments separate and the sword strikes in a whipping slash. crafted with a rare magnetic stone of remarkable strength found only deeply within the caves of the gutter. This is a very interesting short sword. Its typical R1 like weak attacks are kind of underwhelming, honestly, but as the description said, use your strong attacks, and it becomes a very versatile whip weapon with great range. I quite like this, and I have to feel like some of the design choices that went into creating a weapon like this influenced the trick weapons introduced in Bloodborne. In fact, this has a not dissimilar moveset to my favorite weapon in Bloodborne, which we will see just as soon as we start that series. It's a cool sword. I'm not going to use it, at least yet. In Katana we trust, you know? Are the spikes disabled now, or? Huh. I guess that's pretty cool. Once you make it to the bottom of the gauntlet, there's no real purpose to force you to run through the other way. That's nice. So we didn't get anything that we can access right now from that second switch. So it looks like we'll have to drop down the hole and go to probably the most deadly section of the entire DLC, I would say. Or soon. I think we're near the crypt. There's like this massive spike-filled crypt. Yep. Where a bunch of those phantoms are waiting for you. And what we have to do is find a massive burial chamber containing most of their armors. Like, there's a ton of them lining the walls, and once you destroy all of them, then this area becomes really easy to manage, but... Oh, there's a ton of them down there, isn't there? Not yet, not yet. I'd rather deal with the horrible knights first. Oh, and there's a lot of them. Sweet Jesus, is there a lot of them. Oh! She died in a cloud of spiteful poison. Excellent. Oh, damn! She killed us quickly. I've never really had trouble with those enemies before. I guess I've also not ever tried to fight them that recklessly. So yeah, that room is the real challenge in the Sanctum. And notice, yeah, if we didn't even hit a bonfire in the Sanctum. It is a real slog of an area, let me tell you. And our boss, or all the DLC's bosses bar one, are actually waiting at the bottom of the Dragon Sanctum. We'll be heading out of the Sanctum back into Shulva, technically, for one more little jaunt through the Sanctum City before we go back into the Ziggurat to take on the DLC's bosses. So we're not done with this zone, not by a long shot. The DLC, near as I could tell, were also very deliberately crafted a certain way to address the "it's not hard enough" crowd, because they can get really challenging. I've done pretty well, by my standards at least, in Shulva so far, but they are really, really tricky little parcels of content, let me tell you. So Sin isn't gonna help us out here this time. There we go. I'm gonna be more or less careful because I do not want to lose those souls. And once we clear out all the Phantom Knights in the crypt, it will be a much easier area to manage. Now we just have to, ow, dodge these guys long enough to lower the bridge, or lower the doorway. Halfway there. Did we open this door? Yes, we... Or this one? No, we didn't, actually. Oh, God. That's what I was afraid of. They're gonna keep following, aren't they? Okay, so we need to get our souls, and then immediately thereafter, we need to get to the crypt. Or the proper burial chamber. So they don't always perform that desperation attack when they die. Just often enough to be a problem. Oh, damn. Very acrobatic fellas. Oh man, we need to get to that tomb post-haste. It's somewhere around here. Is this it? Is this it? Oh, thank God, this is it. So all we do is smash all of these suckers and most of the knights will be vulnerable. Oh God, there's so many of you! Bye! Oh right, they have special crossbows that fire out, like, hex rounds. Probably good to know that. Oh what, I backstabbed you, come on. Just one more. I don't know if this gets rid of all of them in the or, like, solidifies all of them in this area, but most, I know that, definitely the lion's share. It doesn't matter that I died, it honestly does not matter that I died. We've got this now. We can cut down the knights just as soon as we see them. 2 lives is, trust me, that is not a high toll for that area. They are not the most capable melee combatants we're going to see in this DLC either. The enemies that drop the really good armor that I'm really questing after here, they are perhaps the most insanely powerful regular melee enemies in the entire series, potentially, or among them, easily. How far are they gonna follow me? I've got no idea. Oh, they are persistent, good God. Let's see you handle the elevator of death, though. Yeah. Can't find your way to this, can you? Ha-ha. Ow. Ow. Something I think that also makes this DLC kind of tricky is, at least compared to most areas we've seen in the base game, they are absolutely inundated with enemies. Like substantial enemies too, not chaff like hollows. Even though these guys technically are hollow, I'm sure. You know what I mean? There's no encounter I can just kind of breeze through without thinking. And I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. I'm inclined to go for its perfectly viable design that isn't really my bag. I like a few really complex encounters that are really genuinely challenging, thrown in with just a fair bit of filler combat to make the area feel more lively. Dragon Charm, good. We're getting a nice collection of those going. I think we can get an armor set, or at least part of one, from the Hexers as well. That got him. Good, good. Now let me see something. Am I perhaps intended to hit that switch from all the way over here in order to open that side passage up on this level? The answer is yes. Oh, no, no, no. Maybe I opened it from up here. But here we are. Shortcut, yay. But the knight was waiting for us. Now that they've been essentially neutralized, the Hexers are easily the most dangerous enemies here. I think when they scream like that when they're killed, that means they probably... Sanctum Priestess Tiara, nice. They probably won't send out a spite attack upon death. Yikes. Getting the most out of those crossbows here, aren't they? Even the enemies have crossbows like regular enemies do. Well, I think Vendrick's Royal Swordsmen did too, didn't they? They just didn't use them all that often. And weren't a threat when they did. The Bloodbite Ring +1. We'll take it. That's the way to the ant nest. And I know they don't even look remotely like ants. I don't know why I keep calling them that. Ow! a general theme in the DLC is, even if enemies aren't that resilient, they can deal absurd amounts of damage to you in very, very brief frames of time. Again, this was in part the dev team's answer to people who kept saying, it's not hard enough, and, yeah, well, that shut that crowd up, I'd imagine. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, it's a very well-designed area, but good God, is this nerve-wracking compared to the main game. I think the environment as well, being kind of dark and dingy, claustrophobic, only adds to that sense of stress you get from this DLC. We got the Dragon Stone, which is what we need to open that locked door at the entrance of Dragon Sanctum, I think. An extremely solid stone, used to operate the Eternal Sanctum contraption. The heirloom of a race that discovered a dragon, worshipped its magnificence, and perished by its side. So again, these people were friendly with Sin the Dragon. And I can tell you right now, they aren't monsters or anything. Did that just destroy our equipment's durability? Not by half. I want to go back to the crypt now, not only to see if we can't farm some gear from the Sanctum Knights, but also see if there was something like treasures in there that we missed while we were running around in a panic. As you do. We need a way into there. Oh, and I see it. We can hit a switch from right in there. Check this out. Right? If we can just hit it dead on, like so, 3 times, we should be good to go. Well, we'll get back to it. Are there going to be 3 or 4 of them in here? 3. They've got good poise, they really do. The Eternal Sanctum key. Second key item, very good. Maybe this is what we need for the door? Then, yeah, maybe. Stone might do something else entirely. And a Sanctum Knight helm. That would be the Spectral Knight's helm. Our key is, yeah, right here, this sort of verdigris, heavily oxidized key. Key to the inner chamber of the Eternal Sanctum. The Sunken King erected the Eternal Sanctum to shelter Sin the Dragon. The Sanctum appears to be a solemn temple, but is filled with devilish creatures that ensure no trespasser shall cause offense. Yep, meaning we are not quite in the bit of the DLC where things are supposed to get, like, dicey yet. Jeez. Oh, let's access this really quick, and then rotate that gate properly so we can access whatever is on the other side of that target wall. Oh no! Oh! Oh, that was so close. So bad. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, is this the Eternal Sanctum proper? Yes, it is. Our boss doors are down at the bottom of this hall. We're staying away from here for the time being. What a beautifully eerie atmosphere this place creates, eh? Now what we want to do is get our bow and arrow back out. I'm fairly sure this is going to be worth it. It better be worth it. Really? Gotta get to a slightly different elevation. Can't quite hit it from here. Maybe there's another way? Oh, maybe the horrible, like, ant's nest leads out to it. Let's go ahead and use our repair powder before we take on the acid ants, which is unfortunately going to be our next stop, I believe. Well, I should say, whatever's on the other side of this effigy. Okay, good. Here we go. Oh, hello. One of you flew up here, eh? Oh, damn! I was, Jesus Christ, not expecting that kind of damage. I know for a fact the ones in the gulch don't do damage like that, so yeah, their attack was just buffed through the roof for this particular outing. This is, yeah, sorry, this is just gonna happen. Welcome to the Dark Souls 2 DLC. We die a lot. Now there should be a good old quality bonfire right on the other side of, the Dragon Sanctum entrance, but for now, let's fight through our old friends one more time. Poison stone, okay. All of their Estus flasks may just have one charge, I'm thinking. Yeah, there we go. Use that Sanctum key, I believe. And we have access to loads of treasure. We'll go ahead and loot all of this now and then go get my souls. A dried root, okay. Two dried roots. Are we going to establish a pattern here? 5 tried routes. The lightning clutch ring. Do we have other clutch rings, or just that one? Oh, those are the quartz rings. That's the clutch ring. Increases lightning attack. Ring depicting a hand grasping a stone. Increase lightning attack, but reduce physical defense. Oy. The origin of this ring is unknown, but its design suggests one of the darker deities. Effective use of this ring requires skill on the part of its wearer. So I guess if you were going for like a miracles, lightning-centric build, it could be useful. And a couple bonfire ascetics. No, thank you. Oh, good. Love that sound. You know how much I love it. Even they have like a little backstep attack or maneuver. Oh no. No, 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 no. Not when all of my souls are elsewhere. Oh, and look at him run too. Alright, Baldur, let's see what you got. Spear build, really heavy armor, trying to prevent me from healing, it looks like. Yeah, this is an NPC, but he's one of those with the, I would consider, improved behavioral programming. This kind of area, he spawned on the bridge, so this like whole little type of area is just made for him. Nice try. That's a pretty good looking spear he's got, isn't it? Don't you dare. Okay, so, curses aren't exactly his jam. Good to know. Stone ring would have been so good for this right now. It looks like he's wearing a version of the, Stone Knight's armor from the first game. And wielding a similar shield, like a stone shield. Now, real quick. Human effigy, thank you. We need to take care of this. Right quick. I think our bonus optional dungeon for the DLC, like the multiplayer-centric dungeon, is through there. We will do that in time, but first things first, I want my damn souls back. And I think there should be another bonfire not too far from the ant nest where we died. You know, that massive, like, deep chamber that we found past the crypt. Okay, we got this. It's just the Sanctum Knights, they're not even spectral anymore. We can take care of them. Sanctum Knight leggings, nice. I believe their armor ain't too bad. Actually, the easiest way to get back to the ant's nest would be through here, right? Yeah, we just drop down. Let's snipe what we can. 'Cause I'm not about to get killed again. Not down there. Ooh, God, there's a lot of them. Oh, sweet Jesus, there's a ton. Yep, and everything's broken now. Well, I say everything. Our weapon's broken. That's fine. We've got others. This is what we were fighting for, but one moment. We need a weapon that kind of isn't broken as shit right now. And our best option might just be... It's certainly not gonna be the scimitar, I can tell you that. Spider silk, maybe. There we go. Oh, but even their attacks greatly reduce weapon durability, or equipment durability, it sounds like. Even though the third dragon ring is very, very fragile to begin with. Golden fruit balm, they drop maybe all types of balm. 20 throwing knives, poison throwing knives. Yeah, that could be useful. Is that all of them? Dung pies. Growth balm. Life gems, nothing great here. But probably something worthwhile in the chest up there, right? I mean, come on, there's gotta be. There's no way I would have broken my awesome sword for that. Alright, and in here we've got Flynn's ring. Yeah, this one's really interesting. Check this out. Lowering your equip load increases your physical attack. Ring of Flynn, the infamous thief, utilizes the strength of the wind such that lower equip load proportionally increases physical attack, sort of rewarding a glass cannon build. Flynn was known as a tiny fighter who packed a mighty punch. Even the most skilled warriors in the land failed to capture him. So from here, we want to head back down, and then around to the passage leading deeper into the Sanctum. Oh god, I hate these spikes. I know there's another one down here. We're screwed. Probably. Maybe. Unless we just, like, leg it. Well, this is as good an arena as any. If I could just get a backstab in on one of these guys, we'd be golden. Oh, God almighty. No, he is resolute. He is not moving. Oh no. Damn you. Okay, we have got to get to a bonfire and fast. Oh no. No, 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 no. We are so not capable of fighting him right now. Thomas, if you recall, is notorious as being like the most difficult invader to deal with in the entire game. He is an expert pyromancer, and we are so not ready to deal with him. Oh, but we got no choice. He even uses gestures to mock you. He's got poise out the ass. He can cast pyromancies faster than anybody in the entire series. And he's a really big fan of Firestorm. Yep. Yep, that's the Jester Thomas experience right there. Now, if we were to actually have our Estus flasks and our sword and all of our normal goodies, we could take him. There's just no way that was going to happen with half my shit broken. So instead, we're going to use an effigy again. Head out to Majula and crack open all those souls we've accrued to get some level ups, as well as, of course, repair our equipment. We just may be able to clear the brunt of the content for this DLC today. I'm not confident we can do the same for the other two, because I'm less familiar with them. I've played this one multiple times. And, no, it never gets easier. Shulva's very interesting because in addition to the poison mechanic, it seems like a lot of its content is geared around, like just shredding equipment durability and forcing you to either really prepare with a lot of repair powders and the repair spell and things like that, or switch between different equipment sets and use a lot of things you're not comfortable with or familiar with. So, yeah, interesting design. Speaking of, I'm curious because we've not found it. I'm gonna look up where that repair miracle actually is. Oh, it's in the Shaded Woods. It's not in the area. It was originally in the Shaded Woods, I mean, but not in the area where I was used to finding it. I thought that was a little weird. Now we should be good to, yeah, throw on that katana and level ourselves right on up. How do we want to do this? Attunement's fine where it is. I think, increasing our dex, and then, of all things, the adaptability. The adaptability stat, which is like the kind of dump stat that increases your status effect resistances and... Actually, hold on, there we go. Things like that, as well as making you move just a little bit faster and finally raising that damn poise. Might be a good idea to start investing in that. Yeah, go ahead. This will also help us move a bit faster. Just a bit faster, mind, but... should be worth it. Now, we're going to go get, the repair spell, because that is going to really, really save my ass. Should be somewhere around here behind one of these petrified lion tribesmen. Oh! This guy. Totally forgot about this guy in the chest. Okay, come on. Oh, and he dropped something for us. That's wonderful. The Lion Great Axe. Nice, nice. Bleeding Serum, Human Effigy, and Repair. So Bleeding Serum is basically the bleeding, pine resin, I think? Yeah. It's the bleeding equivalent. A jar of carnivorous plant secretions applies bleeding effect to your right-hand weapon. That's really, really good, honestly. And then the repair spell, hold on, it should be over here. A sorcery that dates farther back than recollection. I think it's one of the Ulasil sorceries. Repairs equipped weapons and armor. Uses light to repair damaged weapons and armor. Supposedly, the sorcery restores items to a past state, but with the knowledge of this art lost, the finer details of the phenomenon are unknown. We don't need to know the details right now. It is definitely an Ulasil light-based sorcery. I believe it was stated as such in the first game. But all we need to know is it will give us a couple free charges of repair powder, essentially, per rest. So let's attune some spells. In place of, actually, given where we are, probably in place of Dark Weapon for now. Dark Weapon will be way more useful in the other two DLCs. We will get Repair. And now we can travel back to the Sanctum and use probably the Priestess Chamber bonfire to access our souls, hopefully, and take down Jester Thomas. And I'm curious, while we're here, we have the Flame Quartz Ring +1 that will improve our fire resistance. We are going to equip that. Jesus. Almost there. Now we've got the two priestesses down here. Got an unfortunate tendency to miss with that running stab, don't I? Oh, that one dropped something. Part of the armor set, maybe? Oh, a dragon charm. Still very useful. Thankfully, we can just run straight past those guys. Ow. This guy's always ready for us. Which is fine, because if we can take down the Jester, we are probably never going to see these guys again. These specific guys. I mean, there might be more Sanctum Knights later. I'm not sure if there are, actually, though. We want to go... Where is it? Where's the path? Over there? Yeah. Yeah, there's where Thomas axed us. Did we not aggro him? Well, that's good, I suppose. I don't know if you can get them to drop their swords or if you can find those elsewhere, but... Oh, looks like backup may or may not be coming? I saw someone moving around at the top of the stairs, but... Huh. Alright, great magic weapon, do your thing. Now, Thomas does have an Estus flask, I believe, and he is happy to use it. He's not just overflowing with health, but especially for a caster, he's got really respectable health and defenses. Or resistances, I should say. Like the Forlorn, he's a big fan of the dodge roll. Fortunately, he kind of tends to prioritize getting away from us over attacking with Firestorm or something, it looks like. We can kind of stunlock him, I guess, which is fortunate considering this is the worst caster to fight in the probably in the entire series, or the worst non-boss caster. We got him, and he didn't even get an attack off that time. Talk about the difference between night and day between the two battles, eh? Alright, well, with that taken care of, we can re-equip our gold serpent ring, which we are going to want moving forward, believe you me. This is not a boss door, unfortunately. This takes us back out into Shulva proper, I believe, and to the lair of the Imperfect. These pseudo-dragon things, the Imperfect, just kind of stalk around this little flooded cavern floor. And there is a bonfire somewhere around here. It's right over there, I think. And we can fight these guys. We probably really don't want to, though. We just want to run around, grab all the treasure we can, and get the hell out of here. Oh, already time to repair. Beautiful effect. Oh, their skin is so slimy. Petrified dragon bone. These things certainly aren't dragons. They're draconic, but they look more like... almost like guars, you know, the weird reptilian beasts of burden from Morrowind? Thankfully, I don't think there are many, if any, like sudden drop-offs or pits here. Oh, they can spit darkness at us, that's great. So the Lair of the Imperfect is, I think, technically the third and final Shulva bonfire. No, it is a Dragon Sanctum bonfire. We missed one somewhere, or we just don't have it yet? I don't know. Again, the layout of this place can be rather confusing. Soul of a great hero. Awesome. Oh, lots of human effigies. Nice, or a handful of them, anyway. It's okay if they see us. It's fine. It's fine. Dried roots. Well... Oh no, they're spitting, like, electrified bile at us, it looks like. Let's try to fight one for giggles, shall we? Well, they have, like, no scales at all, so they are definitely not dragons. Whew. I promise you killing these things isn't worth it, but... thought it'd be a fun little experiment for us. Oh, what is it? Drop. Oh, dragon bone. Okay. Decent source for a very special upgrade material, I guess. Kudos to the Imperfect for that. Now, before we carry on and access, like, the actual massive, like, vaulted chamber that gives us access to the bosses, we are going to head back to the Priestess Chamber and, sorry. Oops, accidentally pressed the X button one too many times there. Access at least the bonfire for the special multiplayer-only dungeon, not multiplayer-only, multiplayer-centric dungeon, so I can maybe run through it later on toward the end of the stream, or whenever we complete the DLC itself. These are really hard, enemy-laden areas that are... they're also quite short, that have unique, typically, like, repurposed bosses from elsewhere in the series, with special attacks, or visual presentation, or things like that. And stats jacked through the roof, meant more than anything else to challenge a team of players, or a player and several NPC phantoms. They're like just fun little extra bits. Yeah, and this one is the Cave of the Dead. Well, actually, is there a special bonfire for the Cave of the Dead? I don't know the... Oh, I don't know. And I could tell you, with all the souls we have right now, there's no way in hell I'm trying that now. The Cave of the Dead has probably either the hardest or the second hardest boss out of all three of them. The boss for the second DLC's multiplayer dungeon actually isn't that bad at all, but the boss for the third is pretty rough. This one is something special, though. Okay, so what we want to do is get to the other side of the Lair of the Imperfect, and there should be like a shrine we can insert the dragon stone into to open up a pathway into the lower levels of the Sanctum. They've got a hell of an AoE on that, don't they? Whew. They don't appear anywhere else in the entire game, I don't believe. Alright, this is what we were looking for. You use the Dragonstone here, and you open up a real nice pathway to the main ziggurat. A different area of the main ziggurat. Here's a little shortcut elevator, I believe. We probably want to get that moving. And where will this take us back to? There's several places for elevators earlier in the stage, so I just want to see where this spits us out. Oh yeah, this, like, central tower. Which puts us right back at, yeah, the very first bonfire in the DLC. Nice. Okay, so glad to know that we're right here. And that there's so many little shortcuts you can open up. Both within areas and between them. Hard to believe, but we're actually not far from the end now. We've got, like, one more really serious leg of the journey, and then we'll be at the bosses. And the main bosses of the DLC are fought one right after the other, so there is absolutely no rest. Well, I mean, of course you get to rest, but, like, there is no lull in the action. There's no, like, little passage or content you have to fight your way through. It's just boss 1, then boss 2. And each DLC has 3 bosses, for the record. 2 main bosses, and then 1 reserved for the multiplayer dungeon. Ah, the Drakeblood Greatsword. This is actually a very light greatsword, comparatively speaking, with a great dex scaling. Greatsword wielded by the Drakeblood Knights, led by the Honorable Sir York. The insignia chiseled upon its hilt symbolizes dragon's blood. To the Drakeblood Knights, fresh dragon blood was sacrosanct. They believed that by obtaining it, they could achieve a true understanding of life, transcending their own banal existence. You can probably already see where this is going. The Drakeblood Knights are kind of the real villains in this DLC's story, even though they have some badass weapons and armor. Seriously, this is a great-looking greatsword, and one that looks a lot more practical than many we've seen elsewhere in the series inspired by Berserk and the like. The Drakeblood Knights are actually those, well, you'll see. You'll see before long. Now we want to take this back on up so we can access that bridge. Here we go, and how scenic. We get to enter the ziggurat through its main entrance now. And welcome to platforming hell. Now I think there's a bonfire that's either hidden behind an illusory wall or just kind of tucked away in an alcove somewhere around here. As well as those really, really awesome enemies that drop fantastic armor I was talking about earlier. There's our boss door. We just need to figure out a way down there. It's going to involve a lot of very careful, measured drops. Oh god, there they are. Yeah, so that's one of those really, really tough melee combatant enemies I was talking about earlier that drops some of the best armor in the game. That is one of the Drakeblood Knights. They're insanely fast. If I recall, they've got great poise and deal phenomenal amounts of damage. They are all around hosses. Oh, they're also very, very aggressive. Nigh limitless poise, too. There's one of the Sanctum Knights, who I'm not interested in dealing with right now. Oh, but I guess we got no choice. It's either that or keep going down. Ah, yeah, so we want to ride the elevator. Or, sorry, ride the gate like an elevator. Whoops. Kind of awkward angle it comes down at that. Whoa, hey! God damn, katana can't hit one of them. Is there anything else up there, though? I'm sure there has to be. I'm not hurting for Titanite, so losing the lizards wounds only my pride. So we're gonna want to take out the Sanctum Knight if we can. And there might be something behind him, actually. No, maybe not. There is one place where you're supposed to ride this. Ow. Ow. Ride it on up, but I guess that's not here. Must be another one deeper down in the Sanctum somewhere, eh? You gotta be very careful here, because in addition to taking damage from the drops, which in fact, hold on. Let me put on the Jester's leggings to ameliorate some of that fall damage real quick. In addition to that, I was going to say we've also got the Drake Blood Knights to worry about. There's a fair few of them in here. Is our bonfire somewhere around here, maybe? This feels about right. Oh god, their poise is phenomenal. They do fat roll, though, so it's not all peaches and cream for them. Isn't that beautiful armor? And they may either drop the armor or you can find a full set of it somewhere around here. Okay, so our bonfire is not there. We need it though. Oh god, do we need it. It might be over there? And we have to jump for it? Given the rest of the DLC so far, that'd make sense. Oh, but we can't. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Or it might be down here, who knows? There it is. Oh, thank you, God. Yeah, folks, we are gonna need this. And thankfully, it is just a stone's throw away from the boss door. Where is the bonfire I missed, then? That is gonna drive me crazy. Maybe on the other side of that rotating door that we couldn't quite access. Or didn't quite access, I should say. Can we maybe sneak up on him? Probably not, but... Oh, definitely not. Oh, hell. Oh, we're screwed. Yeah, trying to fight two of them at once is a very bad idea. We're just gonna have to wear them down like this. Unfortunately. We will not have to fight these guys on the way to the boss every time, so no worries. Oh, that actually staggers them, like a light attack with the two-handed stance. Not bad at all, then. Now seriously, though, before we go down to the bottom, we are gonna need their armor, or I severely, desperately want their armor. There it is. Oh, baby, there we go. The best treasure here. Notice they've looted everything else. The Drake Blood armor doesn't have the world's greatest, like, resistances aside from dark, but its physical damage resistance is insane. Black armor of the Drake Blood Knights, who came from a land long forgotten. The Drake Blood Knights, who worshipped the blood of dragons, were led by Sir Jorg in a siege of the Eternal Sanctum, but sunk into the Sanctum when the slumbering dragon awoke. The red cloth wrapped around their black armor represents the sacred blood of dragons. Oh yeah, we're throwing all this on. The Jester bonuses are great, but this is just so much better. So much better in almost every single way. Those resistances ain't great. Sanctum Knight stuff's actually better somehow. There we go. Check that out. What a beautiful equipment set too, huh? Well, I've got to wear... Actually, probably ought to wear the Jester's leggings just long enough to get down there. So I'm gonna figure out the best way to drop down from our bonfire. And then, use the dried feather to warp back to it. So we can enter the fight with a near full complement of Estus and the like. Yeah, you could just more or less walk right on down. No! Ah, Jesus, of course. Well, we still know the best way to get down to Dragon's Rest, then. We're going to need to jump for that treasure, no doubt. Well, at least we know what we're doing now, more or less. So the boss here is one that I'm going to be summoning in Benhart for, even though we probably can't complete his quest line this go-around, for one very special reason. Or the first boss, I should say. This boss, not in the same vein as the Looking Glass Knight, but is also a summoner. They can summon in 3 types of adds, all of which do poison damage. One is like a joke summon. It's like one of the angry little piglets from Majula. Like, next to no health, very low damage, nothing to worry about. One is a few, like, poison skeletons, also not that bad. I'm summoning Benhart in specifically for the possibility of the 3rd summon, which I am definitely going to need some help with. It's really cool, but really trying. You guys will see what I mean when we get there. Oh, more of you. Okay, well I want to get all the treasure before we carry on to the boss, so... Oh wow, I actually managed to backstab one of them. That doesn't happen every day. So it might actually have been better if I had, tackled the final boss of the main game first, because unlike Dark Souls 2, or unlike Dark Souls 1, in this game, you can actually continue a playthrough after defeating the final bosses. It doesn't just automatically boot you to New Game Plus whatever. And the final boss, one of them in particular, would give you a greatly enhanced context for what this thing we're about to fight is. But that said, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I can still fill you in. So do you remember how, Dark Diver Grandel mentioned that the Abyss, after Manus' death, was kind of fractured into a million different, like, little pieces? And that those pieces have somehow found sentience and are kind of trying to coalesce to come together again, to agglomerate? Well, one of those fragments of the Abyss made its way to Shulva, and set about, I believe, leading, like, the Drake Blood Knights here, or planning, maybe? Sorry, I got that wrong. Planning to unleash the Abyss here, but was, unfortunately, for them anyway, unable to do so because Sor Jorg launched his invasion of the city that completely destroyed the entire civilization before the, like, fragment of the Darkness's plan could be realized. The fragments of Manus are a huge part of the series lore moving forward, and the ones in the DLC, we meet several. I think we only fight 2, and this is one of them. Do not mess around. Alright, get ready for a poison special, kids. We're calling in some help. We could use Benhart, but I think there's another NPC we could call in just for fun. You don't want to do that, because I think if you summon more than one NPC, the boss's health increases exponentially, like in accordance. Steelheart Ellie, yeah, she's a fist fighter. We don't need her for this. We need somebody big and tanky and distracting. And Benhart fits the bill perfectly. Welcome, Benhart, welcome. Now, what do we want to equip to assist us with this? Let me really think about this. Increased poise, maybe? Or no. Ring of Steel Protection. That'll probably be helpful. Now, we are heavier than we're used to being with the Drake Blood set, but we should be fine. Okay. So, that ominous singing all throughout, you knew something was gonna come of that eventually, right? Let's meet all that's left of Shulva's government. The Shard of Manus, Elana, the Squalid Queen, Queen of Poison. So she is a summoner, but she herself is also powerful as hell. She fights with pyromancy, of all things, more than hexes or anything like that. She does have that little, like, barrage of curse shots, but that might be it. Oh no, sorry, she's got an AoE, my bad. Benhart is probably the best help for this you can have. Oh, she's summoning. Is it the one I'm afraid of? Yep, it's Velstadt, of all people. I guess because he let his soul be claimed by the Abyss when he started channeling curses in our fight. So, sorry, man. That, or it's just like a replica of him. Now, while her summons are out, Elana will typically be kind of passive. Once they're down, though... Oh, what's she doing? Oh, using a pyromancy, of course. Whoop! Oh, what now? Not him again. Yep. I am not used to seeing her summon Velstadt repeatedly. Typically, she alternates between the different summons in her arsenal. Not so this time. Now, fortunately, he has nowhere near the HP of the original Velstadt. Oh, come on, Benhart, hang in there. This becomes much harder if you have both of them focusing on you at once. Oh, but she is just beating the shit out of Benhart. There's the AoE. Come on, Benny, just buy a little more time, and we'll be fine. She is actually, I would argue, the harder of the DLC's two main bosses as well. But we got her! First try and we got her! Oh my god, that's never happened before. Even with help. Nice, man. So either I built my character more intelligently this time around, or amazingly, I learned this game a little bit. So, with the death of Elana, and with her what remains of Shulva's government, this giant mural representing Sin and the inhabitants of Shulva working together to celebrate him has opens to reveal a special little area. Special little area with a special little bonfire. And just as I told you, boss fights 1, 2. Who can we summon here? Transcendent Ere, who is a dragon acolyte, I believe, and Abbess Fiva, who is a mage. So I'm gonna go back to Majula to offer up my souls really quickly for some level ups. But then I'm actually going to try this fight all on my own to begin with. You can probably already assume what the fight's going to be against, but it's a really interesting one, and it's a really good one. Elana's great at keeping the pressure on individual players or small groups, but this next fight is a... oh boy, it's something simple. Simple, listen to me, something special. I'm sorry, I'm very tired today. I had an extremely late night, unintentionally, last night, so...
Until...
we're going to go ahead and level up. We've got 5. Give me, I guess, 2 more in adaptability, maybe? And, the rest in vitality. Since we're wearing... actually, no, give me everything in vitality. Since we're wearing heavier armor, I think it's probably best that we really jack that equip load up. Yeah, there we go. We've gone from having it in, like, the 60s to the mid-50s. That's much better. And unequip our bow and arrows, and we're already looking a bit better yet. Okay. So... what else should I do in the meantime? Before we tackle the final boss, I want to go see Strayed to see if he's got more pieces of the Forlorn armor we can check out. Or those awesome weapons they were using. Oh, we've come so far over the past couple weeks, haven't we? So far. First off, is there anything you'd like to... yes, there is. We have that spare Dragon Rider soul, which we can trade for the Halberd or the Twin Blade. And the Demon of Song's soul can yield us the special poisonous Spotted Whip. A whip born from the soul of the Demon of Song, covered with strange spots that betray its poisonous effects. The demon's sonorous voice, in stark contrast to its hideous form, is surely intended to lure people close, so that it may devour them. And then, oh yeah, using like the giant Lord Soul, we've got a special Hex. Velstadt gives us... or, sorry, if we take the soul of Velstadt to Strayed, we get a special Miracle, which is not quite as appealing as the giant bell chime we can get from Ornifex, I don't believe. And I think she can also give us the Giant Lord Soul. This is why I said we want to wait on some of these souls, because each merchant can sometimes offer you something different for them. We'll get the Dragon Rider Twin Blade and the Spotted Whip. Oh, he now sells the complete Forlorn set. Nice. Not the weapons yet. That ring that increases intelligence is looking mighty good. Sunlight Blade, ooh. That's all for now. Back to Dragon's Rest to take on the final boss of the Sunken King DLC. This one, admittedly, even if I do end up summoning in, like, NPCs to help out, which seems to be more of the intended design for this particular stretch of the game. Like, it sounds like, as I understand it, summoning was taken into greater consideration when it came time to design, like, boss encounters and encounters in general for the DLCs. But here we go. I was gonna say this one may take me a few tries. In this beautiful natural cavern at the very bottom of Dark Souls world, or Dark Souls 2's world, it's Sin the Slumbering Dragon. And he's a beast. Tanky as hell and extremely fond of breathing toxic flame. Not the most graceful on his feet, but he kinda doesn't have to be. You can see that Sir Jorg's spear has still is still piercing his chest. Ow. So Sin is, say, compared to Calamite or the Sanctuary Dragon or Guardian Dragon, very mobile. And he is very much a true everlasting dragon. He's one of the very last among their number, but he is one of the originals. Oh, this is so epic. And I'm very impressed with the fact that he is not a straight-up damage sponge boss. He's tough, no doubt, but he doesn't have just, like, an obscene amount of health. Oh no. Oh, and he's toxic, not poisonous, my bad. Gotta repair my sword because his hide is very tough, because he's a dragon. Well, no matter what, I can be very proud of this attempt. It's gone quite well. Come on, buddy. One more. Yes! First try! Right on. So, since Sin was obviously, a toxic dragon, if he managed to hit us with a status effect at any point, we would effectively be done for. The Poison Bite rings would probably come in extra handy for this stage of the game. Thankfully, I remembered one thing about this fight that allowed me to manage it. Compared even to the other dragon bosses in Dark Souls, like the entire series, Sin is kind of, like, helpless at close range. He can swipe with his claws and charge forward a little bit. There's Sir Jorg's corpse. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Really, he is only able to do serious damage from up in the air or at range with his Balefire Breath. since he's not terribly durable, and you don't have to, I don't know, focus on chopping his tail off or anything like that, as long as you stay in close quarters, ideally like under his midsection, he can't do much save move away from you to execute one of his more powerful attacks. Some of which, to be fair, if they connect, like that Balefire Breath, and you're not wearing heavy armor like this, could very well one-shot even a late-game character. Don't get it twisted, this is a very, very dangerous foe, but one that, thankfully, if you know how to manage, can crumple pretty easily. I said it could take me a few tries, in large part because, again, if we did get clipped by any of those more powerful attacks, it could well be over for us. But fortunately, I was able to maneuver just intelligently, just smartly enough to keep away from him. Now, we have this giant glowing, like, source of power here, which turns out to be, of course, the crown of the Sunken King. And with that, friends, we are done. Faint heat lingers in the ancient crown. We are done with the first DLC for Dark Souls 2. Now, I've not forgotten the multiplayer, like, Crazy Death Dungeon, but we're actually going to explore that probably another day, once we have a slightly more advanced character. I'm going to say probably those and Dark Lurker for our end game content. Now we've obtained the Crown of the Sunken King, though not quite as cool or as useful as the Drakeblood Helm, but it looks very, very nice. Crown of the Sunken King, who once ruled this land. The king erected the eternal sanctum below the earth to worship the great dragon, but the towering bulwark crumbled with the city shortly after the dragon's awakening. But these were events of long ago, and today, no one even remembers the king's name. But they do remember his really sweet-looking crown, check that out. Maybe not... Well, I don't know. I think it looks about as cool as Vendrick's. We also have a couple souls to check out. Let's not forget about that. Elana's got this massive dark soul. Soul of Elana, the Squalid Queen, who rests beside the slumbering dragon of the Eternal Sanctum. This child of dark accompanies the dragon, slowly amassing souls in anticipation of the coming day of vengeance. Yeah, so she, as one of the shards of Manus, was basically like harvesting as many souls as she could to use in to call forth another abyssal breach, I think. And Sin, oddly enough, has just a regular soul. The dragon who sleeps in the lowermost depths of this land. The king erected a magnificent city, and the dragon slept soundly until Sir York disturbed it with a single great strike, and the dragon could bear its store of poison no longer. The reign of death toppled the city, but restored the dragon's purity. Right, so it was, I believe, naturally born with, like, this great supply of toxin inside of it, and was largely, or I believe entirely non-violent, happy to live beside the people of the Sanctum, until Jorg pierced it with that spear, causing it to start leaking toxin everywhere and kind of go mad. We're gonna want to see... Well, I was gonna say we might want to see Ornifex a bit later on, but first things first, level up a bit more. And before we carry on any further, like down, like, picking up stray pieces of loot or anything like that, I want to take you guys to the entryway of the second DLC, which is where we may cut it for today. It's a great little DLC package, though, I think. For the value, maybe, I think, 10 or 15 bucks at launch. It wasn't bad. It was maybe a little pricey for what we got, but it's really solid DLC. I'd say just as good in terms of quality. Maybe not, there's not as much there, because there were 3 DLCs instead of 1 for this game, but just as good in terms of quality as Artorias of the Abyss. And certainly more challenging. So we get 3 more levels. Hold on, what does agility do? Ease of evasion and other actions, yeah. We're actually not gonna need too much of this moving forward. How about more faith and intelligence? Why not? Now, friends, we can proceed on to the second crown. The Iron King's crown. Our good old friend, the old Iron King, who ruined just about everything he could in life for the people of and around his kingdom. And now we're going to be able to access the tower where he, like, kind of, or from which he effectively controlled his iron mining operations. Broom Tower. which has also been partially taken over by one of the quote-unquote daughters of Manus. Except this one we're not going to be fighting, we kind of can't. Oof, my bad. There we go. We can use the big iron key to access this DLC area, and it looks nothing like this. It is a tower apparently far, far away from this place, in the middle of a desolate, ashen wasteland. Because again, as we've covered, the Old Iron King was kind of a terrible ruler and general upkeep and things. Let's see what our prompt for this DLC is. No, that ain't it. Over here. In the Tower of the Old Iron King resides a child of dark. To the lobby! There is significantly more in the way of, I want to say, armor and weapons to get in this DLC, maybe not quite as many spells. There were actually a ton of, like, little situational use spells and consumable items in the first DLC, but here, oh here, we've got something different going on. Welcome to Broom Tower. This is another one of those little summoning lobbies. Very different looking entryways, you can tell. Aesthetically, very similar, fittingly, to the Iron Keep. Broom Tower, I believe, is in very slightly better shape, in that it's not being slowly consumed by a lake of fire. Welcome. Welcome to Broom Tower. That's the main tower, but we're going to be using these chains to access different levels of the whole complex here. And as you can see, yeah, the Old Iron Kingdom has seen better days, hopefully. And we'll run into this area's gimmick very shortly, I believe. Yep, right up here. So you see this dilapidated-looking, kind of disturbing idol here? This represents Nadalia, the Bride of Ash, the daughter of Manus, who traveled here to this kingdom in an attempt to seduce and destabilize the Old Iron King. But as it turns out, he was so vile, so evil, that by the time she arrived here to destroy the country, he had already effectively done it himself and lost his mind, becoming the Icarus Earth instead. So she couldn't really do much of anything to make things here any worse or to usher the Abyss back into vogue. So instead, what remains of her has taken the form of a variety of idols that we can find throughout the tower, and we're going to need to use smelter wedges to destroy them when we find the actual active idols. What they do is, I believe, heal and maybe even provide an attack buff to enemies within a pretty generous range of them. So we really do want to find these idols or statues of Nadalia and destroy them with the smelter wedges, which, hold on, let's get a little bit of lore real quick. An iron wedge forged in this land destroys the Ashen Idol. The Ashen Idol is of great consequence to Nadalia, who, having renounced her flesh, entrusts her very being to it. Which is to say, she is long dead at this point and survives only in the form of spirits haunting the idols. So she can and will never fight us directly. Good old Broom Tower. I like this DLC. I generally prefer this area to the first one. And a huge part of that may be due to the fact that there's just no crazy poison gimmicks here. But here, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to have to leave it for today. If we're really lucky, and I play much better than I expect to, we may be able to take down both of the remaining DLCs in a really, like, long stream tomorrow. But, oh, hold on. Let me show off one of Nadalia's idols first. This is what they look like, and I don't know that they generally attack you like this. This one might be special. But if we use the smelter wedge, we nullify her and receive her soul. Or, as we'll see, hold on, I'll show this off before we go. A tiny fraction of it. A small fragment of a soul. Soul of Nadalia, Bride of Ash, who renounced her flesh and wandered Broom Tower. When Nadalia came to this land, the king she sought was no longer there. Dispirited, she forsook her own soul and clung to the heirlooms of the old king. And we can see the old Iron King's ridiculously uncomfortable-looking throne here, and that's where we're going to leave it for today, ladies and gents. I do hope you'll join me tomorrow from 2 to 5 p.m., probably, maybe a bit later, eyes on the Discord. If you're watching this live on Twitch or after the fact as a VOD on YouTube, thank you so much for spending your time and yourselves with me this afternoon, or sharing your time and yourselves with me this afternoon. Sorry. And we will see you next time for the next installment in the Crowns of the... Is it like the Crowns of the Lost Kings trilogy or something like that? For Dark Souls 2. I look forward to sharing it with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.